Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pathfinder Kingmaker Enhanced Edition with me, BringItDon. And we're going to talk to Captain Martin. A tall, confident man stands before you, wearing a fancy hat and a charming smile. Ah, visitors. And whom do I have the pleasure of addressing? My name is Captain Martin. There have been so few new faces in the tavern recently, for some reason. Can be of any use to you. What are you doing here? We have a rendezvous with a most outstanding artist, but he's rather late. My crew needs a way to blow off some steam, or their bloodthirst will get the better of them. Is there any way you can help me? You see, not so long ago I commissioned a wizard named Blakemore to create a grimoire. It should be an amazing book, a masterpiece of calligraphy and fine art. Blakemore is a phenomenal genius, and author of some mighty tall tales. Alas, punctuality is not one of his virtues. He's not much good with people at all. Blakemore has lived too long a hermit. In fact, we don't know where he lives. But if you ever cross paths with him, and you can somehow bring back the grimoire to us, my gratitude would be immense. And of course, we'll immediately set off without disturbing the peace of these good citizens. I have a question for you, as a captain and seafarer. The captain adjusts the rapier on his belt with a swaggering gesture. Our ship has visited every single port in the world. I know a few things that'll surprise you. I've never heard of you. Who are you? Haven't you heard? Perhaps you're not interested in art. I'm the famous Captain Martin, commander of the pirate ship Prestigious. We're masterpiece hunters, art thieves, and welcome guests in the houses of collectors and connoisseurs of beauty. I admit, King Irovetti himself hosted me at the palace more than once, and he's always been satisfied with my gifts. Tell me about your crew. Oh, our crew is a team of extraordinary ladies and gentlemen. Khalees, that elf, who was picking up fights so gracefully when you entered. He's a true master of boarding fights. The senior sailor, Shagnak, is quite funny and witty fellow, like no one else. Of course, sometimes his orcaf prevails, and his tricks start posing a danger to others. But everyone has some flaws, right? Babarm is a true dwarf, and a natural-born ship's treasurer. His budget always squares with the treasury, although one time he strangled a sailor because the treasury couldn't cover his salary. But in the end, his budget was spot on. Over there in the corner, that's Blutmund. It's such a weird name. I never met a more gloomy and rude man. They say he was once a crewman on the ship of the damned, but I'll wager that was just a tall tale. And of course, let's not forget my first mate Weller. He's my right hand, a man of impeccable loyalty. And don't tell anyone I told you, but he's a great fan of art. It's a pity he hides his passion, though we all know about it, of course. Martin winks conspiratorially at you. Tell me about your travels. That would be a long story. I can say without exaggeration, there's no sea in the world we haven't sailed. I've traded with the Kelishites, talked with the sages of Absalom, traded gorgeous carved masks from the Garund Aborigines, for rum, fought off elfin raiders who come in the middle of the night howling like wolves. I participated in the regatta organized by the Aspis Consortium, taking honorable second, and only because of the dishonest ploys of my rival. The Hurricane King himself, Captain Kurdak Bonefist, leader of the Free Captains and ruler of the Shackles, gave me that magnificent rapier, as a gesture of respect. Yeah, hand over command to Wellar before the crew hangs you. Martin smiles uncomprehendingly, and you hear Weller's footsteps behind. Sir, let's do this without bloodshed. Give up your command, you'll be the death of the crew. Weller, is this a mutiny? You're kidding me. My crew would never betray me. I'm the best captain in all the seas. Right, crew? You're a coward, not a captain. How long have you been sitting here ashore? Is this what a real captain would do? The pirates smile ravenously. Your words have piqued their interest. You think to turn my own crew against me? You will fail in that. Ahoy, sea wolves. Didn't I always look after you? Didn't I always make sure we get glorious booty? Who are you trying to fool? Everybody knows you're pocketing the best part of the booty. Weller told me everything. Alright, we are going to reload. Because I forgot to activate my, thingamajig. Lindsay's inspire confidence. That was my bad.
In due time.
Adventures call to them.
Alright, then we're gonna quick save, and we're gonna do it all again. Alright, then here we bluff again. The pirates begin to murmur, looking angrily at the captain. Martin puts his hand on his weapon. You'll stop making plans on my ship, Don Victus. Stop this mutiny. Crewman, a West Reller. Weller, not Reller. Best not cross swords with me. Whoever touches Weller is a dead man. Martin freezes, not knowing what to say. Silence falls for a moment, and then one of the pirates hisses an incomprehensible sailor swear through his teeth. Martin looks at the seamen around him, bewildered. The first mate makes a sign, and the captain, apparently now former captain, is carted away. First mate, now Captain Weller, shakes your hand emotionally. You saved the Prestigious. Now we can finally set sail like normal pirates. Hold on. I remember what I promised. We'll put an end to our careers as sea dogs and become an honest merchant vessel. The Prestigious will sail henceforth under your banner. Some decent buffs, and we leveled up. I failed that part, but it's alright. I keep the grimoire for myself. Another level of fighter. How close are we actually to leveling up again?
It's time to act.
Alright, so it's not as much experience as I remember there being. For some reason I thought it was like 200,000 experience per check. But it's still, we leveled up again, which is not a bad thing. Sure. I was looking up some stuff about kineticists, off camera, of course. And do I have improved critical? Ah, I do, okay. I guess I'll do knowledge or lore nature. So, and I realized that I messed up my my kineticists. I should have focused better on the elements that I was picking for them. Like if I got like water and earth for Kalika. You get mud, which is supposedly really good. And there was something else. I don't know. I learned some stuff about kineticists that I can't actually remember off the top of my head. Does she have any other skill focus to get? What is she good at? World, Arcana, Trickery, Magic Device, Perception. Nope, okay. Sure, I'll give her fast stealth. It'll bring Summon Monsters 6. I could see it being useful. Oh wait, she needs to stop casting that.
Here.
Now I feel silly, because I really built up the experience you get from Captain Martin, but I remember it differently. Why does it put me all the way down here? Let's go back up here. Fiery body. Sure. Icy prison mass. That's interesting. Tsunami. Weird. Let's get Heroic Invocation. We don't need this. Thinking about Icy Prison Mass. I can see Weird being good as well. More monster summons are always welcome as well, especially if I'm going to go try and take on Robogug again.
And Lindsay was called forth.
That'd be worth having. Alright, cool. Let's go to the academy. Regardless, we should still... I think we still level up one more time before we leave Pitax. It's a lot of experience to be had. Alright, there's Dre, whatever the priest. Priest of Calistria.
I do what I must. I'm off.
There you are. What kind of a performance are we to expect today? The capitulation of King Don Victus in face of the luminous Irovetti? Or something else? Who are you? I am Dre Yarns, High Priest of Calistria, the patron of this city. I also command the Temple Guard. If I oppose Irovetti, will you support me? Why? Irovetti prays to Calistria himself, and donates generously to the temple. With him in charge, the city has become much more cheerful than it used to be. Why would I wish to see him deposed? To avenge all the lives he trampled. Revenge. Oh yes. The goddess is patient, but sooner or later the bill must come due. The sacred sting allows much, but what he's doing is unacceptable. I'm ashamed of accepting money tainted by his dirty crimes. I shall wash my hands in his blood. Go now, and carry out your plan. We shouldn't be seen together. There are spies everywhere. Alright, so we have more support. Sadly, all this support that we're getting doesn't last very long. Gone is the confident and well-groomed playwright who approached you at the Rushlight tournament. Imar Deschamps, who sent you to defeat the river pirates, is pale and wan, as though he had not slept for days. He shakily runs a hand through his hair as you approach. It's a terrible mistake. I owe you an apology, and an explanation. He holds up a hand as if to request patience or ward off a blow. Walsh Kevaway, the magistrate, knows that I have a way with words. Wouldn't think that now that I'm stumbling over myself. He may be cruel, but he's devious. I think he wanted to test my loyalty and eliminate rivals at the same time, so he recruited me as a spy. It seemed natural, what with my husband and the guards. I couldn't just refuse. That made me look like a threat to the state. The king is already putting the squeeze on the city guard hard enough, so that would threaten my tall one too. Now I've concocted a story to get you to attack someone under pretense of piracy, knowing that it wasn't true. Imar withers with shame. He nervously looks around. You need to get out of here before there's more trouble. I'm going to do what I can to make this right, though. Faster than you can say... Don Victus, shouts an approaching woman, her voice silencing all of the other conversations for 100 feet. It is Ranshala Viscari, who had overseen the convoy you attacked, and she proudly wears light blue clothing embroidered with the heron, not heroine, the heron insignia of the Riversong Trading House. You have the gall to show your face at Pitax after what you did to me? A brazen attack on this kingdom's river against one of its eminent trade houses, and now you gallivant about while snubbing justice? Some of her personal guards array themselves behind her, watching grimly. At the same time, onlookers begin gathering to see what's happening. You attack my shipments, my family, and my crew members. Walsh Kevaway, stand aside. Make way for the King's Magistrate. The Honorable Walsh Kevaway makes his way to the conversation with a squad of Pitax's guards in tow. Sergeant Talwyn Halmarian, keep the peace as I handle these miscreants. He tugs irritably on his sash before looking at you. As for you, it is convenient that you have spared us the trouble of arresting you for sentencing. How dare you show your face in Pitax after launching an unprovoked attack on the Riversong Trade House, lifeblood of our city and pride of our kingdom? You have slain our people and threatened the prosperity of every citizen gathered here. It was not his fault, declares Aymar as he steps forward. I accept responsibility for... The magistrate interrupts. Listen, now this villain has begun poisoning the minds of our people, using doubt and venom to make us see ourselves as fiends when the mastermind stands before us. He points accusingly at you. Yes, proud citizens of Pitax. From this foreign miscreant stems all of these ills. Sergeant Talwyn seems baffled by what's happening, looking for guidance from Aymar. The latter looks back with sad resolve. But we're a civilized and high-minded people, declares Walsh Kevaway. Let us hear from the accused. Smugly, he turns to you and awaits your response. This man, the playwright, he betrayed us. He hurt Renshala. He made us into bandits. Let him take the blame for his mistakes. Octavia looks worriedly at Talwyn. Look at him, Don Victus. That's love. If we don't keep Aymar safe, we'll have broken these two apart. I don't think I can sleep with that on my conscience. The traitorous poet should be escorted to the gallows, with a loop and the noose for every lie. That's the sort of show I'd gladly watch from the front row. If I am found guilty, what happens? You are the head of a foreign state, the magistrate admits with disdain. Although putting you under arrest is not within my humble power, you shall be reviled as a treacherous murderer and scoundrel throughout the River Kingdoms. So yeah, you're the one behind all of this, and I can prove it. A cruel sneer cracks Judge Cavaway's face. Ah, the red-handed criminal questions the judicial system. Very well. How do you refute the state's accusations? You told me of the so-called pirates, Judge Cavaway. What could you have to gain by painting your own people as outlaws? And you also warned Renshala Vascari of an impending attack. Not from pirates, but from me. It's as though you had hoped I would attack her and incriminate myself. I was prepared to condemn you for theft and murder, yet it is no trouble for me to add forgery to the accounts against you. Judge Cavaway peers at the page for a moment before adding, and even so, it is my sacred duty to protect the people against the foreign pretenders and predators from your lawless land. Although the crowd still seems moved by Judge Cavaway's rhetoric, a muttering minority begins questioning his narrative. You told me of the so-called pirates, Judge Cavaway. What could you have to gain by painting your own people as outlaws? Of course I warned against pirates, Judge Cavaway responds indignantly. King Irovetti's soldiers patrol our territory to ensure the safety of all, yet there are those who would exploit the river freedoms to attack our merchants. He looks at you for a moment before turning to the crowd. Clearly, our king was right to worry about foreign powers preying upon our people. Although the crowd still seems moved by Judge... Alright, same thing. The playwright... Yeah, presented my evidence. Surely now the people can see that I am not guilty. Yeah, the playwright Aymar Deschamps asked me to attack the Vascari convoy, though he misinformed me about my target's identity. It's true, Aymar proclaims, eliciting a gasp from Talwyn. I concocted a story to get Don Victus in trouble. We would not be here now were it not for my deception. And tell them who made you do this. The playwright squares his shoulders before pointing at the magistrate. Walsh Kevaway approached me, demanding that I trick Don Victus into attacking the convoy, for the good of Pitax. What I thought was a service to the kingdom has endangered our people and the innocent man before us. Lies and slander, explodes the magistrate. How easy it must be for a playwright to spin such a web of falsehoods to confuse the listener and betray his neighbors. No, good people of Pitax. Aymar Deschamps was born not in our fair nation, but on Baldur, where intrigue and backstabbing are second nature. It should come as no surprise that he would find a kindred spirit in Don Victus. Alright, well I presented my evidence. Surely now the people can see that I am not guilty. Do not forget that Pitax is the land of law and justice, the king's justice. As appointed magistrate and defender of the people, it's my job to declare you guilty. Judge Cavaway sneers in grim triumph before staggering back at the crowd's outburst. Clearly, he was hoping for the grudging support of the onlookers. Onlookers. I can't read. Rather than hate you for attacking the Viscari convoy, most people present seem to sympathize with you and blame Walsh Cavaway for framing you. He tugs at his sash so hard it nearly tears before spinning to leave. You will not escape that easy.
Their life ends here.
Alright. Armor seems unable to find the right words to say. I was at fault. I was ready to accept the blame. But you never blamed me for anything. I don't understand. But I'm grateful. You could have abandoned me to suffer for my wrongdoings, yet you shielded me. I won't forget this. Sergeant Talron approaches and puts a comforting hand on his husband's shoulder. I don't understand all of what just happened, he admits. He gives Aymar a scolding look before adding, but I'm sure my husband will be happy to explain it to me later. I can tell that he was in trouble, and you stepped in to protect him where I might not have been able. I appreciate that so much. I want you to know that we, the guards, are outraged with King Irovetti and his ever-crueler policies. I think Walsh might have wanted to provoke me to revolt, and use it against the guard. Anyway, please take this. Before I donned the uniform of Pitax, I wore this as a sellsword. As Aymar and Talron depart, Renchala approaches you. I'd be overjoyed if not for the deaths of my people. However, thanks to you, justice was served. This makes us even. She gives you a shallow bow and then departs for the docks. See, it tells me she goes to the docks. I wonder if I can talk to her there. And get her to help me out as well. Alright, so Talwyn's armor. +4. This armor produces a magical force that protects its wearer's vital areas. +4 chainmail grants its wearer protection from critical hits and sneak attacks. Whenever such attack would be scored on the wearer, with a 50% chance it is negated, and the attack only deals normal damage. Alright, let's go and see if we can talk to her real quick before we talk to... Swift Injustice. The marking on the blade insists that this kukri was forged by one of the pirate blacksmiths of the Black Marquis. This +4 kukri deals additional 2 damage to helpless targets. Yeah, I just want to do it once around and see if she's here. And if I can potentially recruit her for...
I'm there.
She might show up anyway, but... Alright, so she's not here. Alright, just wanted to make sure. Saying specifically that she was going to the docks seemed a little suspicious. Alright, we can go talk to some more people at the academy.
In due time.
If I can get my words right. Struggling to read. Which doesn't bode well. Atalia Gatarin is
Follow if you dare.
I don't see Animede here. I think she approaches us after we talk to Atalia. So, you've come to give your crown to Irovetti after all. Don't you worry. His Highness will take good care of your lands. Lindsay steps forward with a triumphant smile on her face. Headmaster Katarin, have you read the book? You know, the book. About the Academy, Pitax, Irovetti, and so on. An amusing little work, wouldn't you say? I am a lawful subject of His Highness Irovetti. Do you think I would read a book that was forbidden by his personal order? As far as I know, this book consists of dirty slander and groundless insults against our respected citizens, and direct incitement to riot against our lawful king. I wouldn't touch it, even if it weren't forbidden. But anyway, you've no time to discuss books, even such popular ones. You came to see His Highness, did you not? Well then, go and speak with him. Perhaps you'll have time to discuss literature after you finish your business with him. Ha, we'll talk. Don't you worry. We have something to say to him. Who are you? Atalia Gitarin, head of the Pitax Academy of Grand Arts. His Highness has given me, and dozens like me, a chance to do what we love. Excuse me. Irovetti is a dirtbag, and you know it. Aren't you disgusted to work for him? I would lie if I told you I never had to compromise my conscience. But the good he does for the city and my students is incomparably greater than the harm. Irovetti is no role model, but he created the Academy, and in merely doing that he's atoned for a great many of his wrongdoings. And I, as head of the Academy, have had a chance to further diminish the evil he does. It's easy to do good when someone else is paying for it. You know the price you students pay for the Academy, but you look the other way so you can keep playing your lute in peace. Atalia covers her face with her hands. You are right. No matter how wonderful the art created at the Academy may be, all of it is tainted by Irovetti's crimes. Come what may, if you stand against Irovetti, I shall bring the students to the streets on your side. I only pray to Shaylin that you are more merciful than he is. You got that right. I hate people like her so much. She talks a good game, avoiding whatever conflicts come her way, which is why she also lets scoundrels like Irovetti feast at their leisure. I'll take an obvious villain over do-gooders like that any day. And now you must leave. We cannot be seen together. Ganymede Belivar, the most celebrated of all Pitaxian bards, approaches you with a sweet smile. Just listen to her. Imagine, loyal to her king for so many years, but when his throne starts to wobble, her conscience magically wakes up. You seem to really hate Irovetti. Why is that? For the same reason he is hated by every Pitaxian girl or boy unlucky enough to catch that stinking pig's eye. He doesn't take no for an answer. The whole city is his personal harem. When he failed to seduce me, he tried to buy me. When he failed to buy me, he tried taking me by force. When he failed at that too, he tried to put a spell on me using a strange artifact. Praise Callistria, the magic didn't work, but I swear by the goddess, I wouldn't give to have my revenge. For myself and for countless others less fortunate. What artifact? I don't know. It was like a piece of driftwood, or perhaps a wooden sword. I really don't want to talk about it, forgive me. But in a nutshell, the pig invited me to another romantic dinner, snuck up on me from behind, and poked me in the back with his stick. I don't know what he expected, but it didn't work. I immediately realized he was trying to put a spell on me, and I was consumed by such rage as I've never felt in my whole life. I'm ashamed to recall the scene I made. I screamed, flipped over the table, splashed him with wine. Haha, you know what? I'm not ashamed at all. The look on his unshaven snout dripping wine, it's my only pleasant memory of the whole evening. And what do you want from me? I have a business proposal for you. Allow me to lead the rebellion of the Academy students against Irovetti. I'll handle it far better than this spineless old hag, who hasn't touched a sword in her life. I'll lead the bards to battle, and I'll convince them that you are their patron, a true tower of strength. And in return, I ask that you keep the Academy open after you win the crown, and make me its new headmaster. Deal? Ekron's piercing eyes never leave the bard. Wearing colorful feathers and singing sweet songs doesn't change a Cobra's nature. Don't listen to that song. Don't let her infatuate you. Canara watches the bard with undisguised hostility. I wonder what price you will ask when you sell your loyalty to the next one to claim the crown. Don't make any deals with her, Don Victus. The scaffold is the proper stage for bards and poets. Until now you served Irovetti loyally, working against me, just like Italia. Why should I trust you now? There's no such thing as loyalty. Loyalty. I cannot. Rough day. I should know, after all. It was us bards who invented it. It's a fairy tale that rulers tell naive fools, to make them work for free and die for someone else's interests, all with happy smiles on their faces. The deal I'm proposing puts me out on a limb, not you. I rarely make such an offer, to do a job in advance without any guarantee on your part, aside from your word, of course. It's a terrible risk, but I'm ready to take it for a chance at revenge. You, on the other hand, risk nothing. Ahaha. If your subjects aren't loyal, that simply means you failed to train them properly. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, so both Canera and Ekun, so my romantic interest and my best bud, have decided, or told me not to trust her. Last time I did, and I wasn't happy with the results. So I will not make any deals with you. As you wish, Your Highness. I'm afraid you will regret this decision. Will I, though? Ugh. Alright. Well, that's it for all the major players in Pitax. We're now done.
I'm there.
So, I don't think the merchants show up until after all the events transpire. Which kind of sucks, but it's okay. Alright, in the next episode we're going to confront Irovetti with all of our newfound allies. I want to go talk to Stefano one more time.
I do what
I feel like...
must.
Okay. Well, again, I apologize for my reading. It was very off today. Words are hard. Anyway, I'm going to call it here. Again, next episode we'll confront Irovetti, and we will bring all of our allies to bear. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.